if you, you know, when there's a car accident and the people are stuck inside the vehicle, we have to cut the cars open. So that's what they're going over now.
So you called, what's the class's name?
Extrication.
Extrication. So like when the cars got on fire?
And so, no, these are when the cars hit each other and they're crumpled.
Oh.
So, and they can't get out, the doors won't open or whatever. So we have to, we use the jaws of life. I don't know if you've heard of those. So they're hydraulic tools that will spread the door. Basically, we would dismantle the car to get the people out.
Okay.
But for car fire training, we use, so this is a prop.
Oh, that's
we can hook natural gas to, and it creates, you know, fire in the car, and they can practice putting it out. But we also do real car fires, where we get junk cars down here, and we light them on fire, so they practice doing all that.
This has been really educational so far.
Do what?
It has been really educational so far.
This is
yeah. So are those pallets where you guys get the junk cars from, or is that for training as well?
So we burn, usually that's what we'll use inside of that building right there is our burn building.
Oh.
Where we can simulate house fires, apartment fires, whatever you can think of. It's 3 stories high. And we use pallets and straw to create the fire and the smoke.
Okay.
So there's a lot of regulations on fire departments about what you can burn in a training fire. So we have to use, it's called Class A combustibles, which there's still smoke and fire, but they don't burn as hot as like couches and beds and stuff like that. So we can control kind of the heat and all that. And a lot of it has to do with, too, the building can only sustain so much heat before we have to repair it and all that.
Yeah, makes sense. And that's the car you said you guys use for real car? That's a junk car, right?
That's a junk car, but that's one of the ones we use for training.
Yeah.
So they have to learn how to, when we go to a car accident, one's laying on its side, they have to learn how to stabilize that car. So if they need to cut it or do anything like that, it won't fall over on them when they're working and stuff like that. So you can come around. I'm not sure what. And some of these we keep down here just for training, so crews can come down and work on them before and not cut them up yet. But this is a typical car accident. We will go on a car on its side.
And the wheels just pop to the top.
Yep. So.
Yeah. But this is one of the minor ones. There are a ton of major ones where some crashes come up to here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then as we get out here to the extrication lodge, we have a lot more. So we do a lot. We do from regular cars like that up to trash trucks, buses, tractor trailers, because on all the roadways, you know, there's tons of stuff that can happen in all those vehicles. So we need to know how to work on all of them.
That makes sense, because if you don't know how to work on all the cars, you won't be able to have much.
Yep. So this is one of our recruit classes right here. They're getting ready to do the extrication. They're getting a little bit of a break right now before they...
Yeah, and that's the house fire simulation, right there. It's still burning a bit.
So after we burn inside, we take all the embers out and just throw them in there. And so we kind of clean up the burn building every time. Poke our head right in the floor and look. They've been burning. Chesapeake Fire Department was down here using our facilities because they don't have a burn building yet. So a lot of localities will come down here and use our training facility because they don't have the capacity yet.
This is how it looks, and those are the compostable wood you use.
Yeah, so we'll build. So right here where it's kind of clean, we'll build. We call them fire boxes, where we stack the pallets up into a big box and put straw in it, and then light that. And that's what creates the fire that they use for training.
And those are injured people?
Yeah, we'll use those as we just kind of
yeah.
So you can get a better shot of the door over here. This is used for... Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is a door that they use to force. So if you go to someone's front door, they're usually locked and all that, and we have to know how to get into them. So they would start on this side, like they were going in the front door, and they'll force the door using various tools. And then that's how.
and like pried open and stuff. And those are.
So that goes up where the stairs goes to the second and third floor, and then on the other side is a tower that represents like a high rise. So
So
you
there's
come in here and you use the stairwell. But they use the stairwell that goes up. Like you would be in a stairwell of a high rise 5. So we call this the tower. And then we actually do a lot of rope training and stuff off the top of it. So like if we have a window washer that's stuck over the edge of a building and all that, we can do all that at the top of this tower. We can go up onto the roof and come down, pick someone up, and bring them
like
back
with
up.
the rope and.
Yep.
That's cool.
That is called our flashover simulator. So when a fire is burning in a building, it gets to a point where it reaches a temperature that the fire is burning and all the smoke that's in the building actually turns into fuel. And then it all lights off all at once. It's called a flashover. So we use that to show people when you're in a fire and you're going in to try to put out the fire, you need to read the conditions and see what the smoke's doing and everything else. Because if it gets to a flashover point, that's when everything lights on fire, including you as a firefighter in the room. So you need to know what to look for to feel the heat and all that so that we don't hurt people.
And you don't hurt yourself.
Yep.
And
And then so over here, this is where they're going to be doing their educations.
And are those fire stuff?
So I don't think they have. They rotate a lot of stuff out once they burn them. So this is to represent like a crash we might go through. So a car runs underneath a bus, and we go on a lot of those calls. I say a lot. We've had numerous calls over the years where it's either that or a trash truck they go underneath or whatever. So we need to know how to get the person out of that vehicle if that happens, the driver, the passenger.
I don't think you can get them out if that happens, but
Oh yeah, we get them out. Dr. Liebold,
hey,
Hey, how are you, sir?
he's a Skashik. He's an honor student.
Sean. Nice to meet you.
Doing a little bit on
yeah, I'm just doing an interview where how firefighters help people in need.
Okay.
is this these guys are already in the field though, right?
Yes. Yep. All right.
So that's if it's high fires and they need to get someone up from the top.
So they probably told them to throw the ladder to probably the second floor window. Third floor window. So they're probably told her, hey, you have a person. So he's doing his probationary release test, pretty much. So he's been out in the field for about a year now, working as a firefighter. Now he's going to force the door.
It's too windy. There we go. Oh.
The way we do these props is it's very challenging. It's more than what you usually run into. So we make it harder. So when you're in the real environment, you have the skills to get through something even that's harder than what you need to get through.
Because that's the iron door and usually all those are wood or plywood.
so nothing comes out, fire or anything comes out at them. Pour hose on.
And they get the fire out. I think they're doing the part.
Yeah, I think we can go over there.
Let's.
Put the hose line out like he would when he was going into that house if it was on fire. Getting it all set up. And they'll have him do what's called a front porch drill where he puts his mask on and goes on air.
And he puts on a gas mask. Or?
So the pack that he has on his back is just got air like we're breathing right now. It's just taken out of the air through a compressor and put in that bottle. And it's at 4,500 psi, so it's high pressure. But when you breathe into it, it goes through a regulator that makes it low pressure. So the way they're designed too is that it's always got positive pressure. So if it doesn't seal right or something happens with the fire and his mask gets hot, there's always air blowing, so he's not taking the smoke and all that stuff coming out.
And that's the water pressure they use. So when I was in my house fire, I think there were about 8 firefighters total. And
So our typical response is at least 2. We have 5 on structure fire calls. We get at least 5 in the beginning and a battalion chief. 2 battalion chiefs, 5 apparatus, and then we can increase from there or we can decrease. So if anyone calls and says my house is on fire, you automatically get a lot of resources at once.
yeah, because but now he has gone inside to get the food.
And now he goes in, he's just taking the hose line around. The instructor's telling him what to do.
So that's another battalion.
So these are master firefighters that are the instructors. We have master firefighters and captains and then a chief.
So you're the battalion and he's the firefighter.
Yes. So in between master firefighter and battalion chief, you have a rank of captain. So there's another rank between him and then the guy inside is still a probationary firefighter.
Yeah.
So as soon as he does this testing, then he'll transition to just a firefighter. So I think now they're just learning about tools and stuff. Let's see if I pick up this side. So they're just going over the tools and what they might be able to use. So when I said the jaws of life,
Yeah. So
this is what I was talking about.
this one.
Yep. So this is a hydraulic spreader, it's called, and that's what we can use to pry doors open. We can lift dashboard in your car. We can lift it with it. This is a cutter. We can cut all sorts of different things on a vehicle.
Like probably the center.
We can cut the roof off. Pretty much anything on a car. These are all battery powered. They're hydraulic, very powerful.
And those are the cars they'll be testing on, or?
They'll be so they'll start by stabilizing them and then making sure they won't move on them, and then they'll cut various pieces of the cars away to get to the victim inside.
What'd you tell him?
So like the one on its side, they'll cut the whole roof off and bring it down, and that gives you access to the people inside. The one on its roof
Flipped.
will
Yeah.
bring it up and stabilize it, and then cut the roof and bring it down. And we usually use the roof. We can slide the people out with the roof. right now they're just going over the various stuff that they would use.
You said this is one of the training classes, right?
So these are y'all 14 or 15?
14, sir.
This is our TRFA, or BBFA we call it now, BBFA 14. So.
Yeah. And
Scott?
How you doing, sir?
How you
See
doing?
you. Hi.
Hey,
This is
I'm
Asher.
Kasha.
Scott Perry. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
What are we doing?
He is a honor student in high school doing a project about the fire department.
Oh man, it's awesome.
Yeah, because I was involved in a fire 4 or 5 years ago, and
That's
I
not
just
awesome.
I just wanted to like
Glad you're
do
okay.
precautions and tell people how to get out of the situation or like
Yeah.
what to do if something happens. And I thought fire department, who else is a credible source other than
Yeah.
the fire department to go for the
Plan.
fires?
Come up with a plan and have a plan. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it kind of boils down to, right? Like
Yep.
the first and most important thing is the discussion, especially at your home with your kids. Have a plan and say, hey, if something does happen in our home, this is how we're going to get out, where we're going to meet. Because there's nothing worse than a frantic parent on a hectic scene who can't find their child, because we're parents. And when a parent is frantic for their child, it makes you feel like it's your child in a way.
The thing is, when I was in my fire, what happened was we were sleeping.
Yeah.
And my dad was in a meeting, so he was the one that first recognized there was a fire going on.
Did you have a smoke
So,
detector?
We had 3 smoke detectors
They
go
go
off.
off? They did?
And it took them, even after the 3 smoke detectors go off, it took them at least 45 minutes before help could come.
Yeah.
And before they came, already a block burned down.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was in Town Center, and Carter was still a captain on Engine 7, I believe.
On
It was right
7,
across.
9?
What are those apartments right across? And you have the RVs and all that stuff.
Yeah. I
You know
yeah.
the
I do-
apartment
yeah, I do.
complex. It was that.
Oh,
that,
wow.
that fire.
Holy
So
cow.
it was a good
That
while
was,
ago.
that was a good fire too.
Yeah.
I mean, meaning big fire, not
Yeah.
necessarily good fire.
Yep.
Dang.
And Red
Yeah,
Cross
as far as,
was
as
there.
far as
and-
like when you say, honestly, like it's weird because we did this. I did the same thing with even my children. We talked about a plan all the time. Just like anything that's dangerous in your house, a hot stove. People talk about a lot of other things in the home. As long as you plan and educate, hey, that's dangerous. Don't touch that. And then you reaffirm that like over and over and over again, just like anything. Just like hey, where are we meeting? If something happens, how am I getting out of my house? Okay, you touch the door. Okay, it's hot. Well, because we sleep with our doors closed. Why do we sleep with our doors closed? Because it's been scientifically proven that if you have a fire in your house, that you have more survivability if your door is closed because of the inability for smoke and heat and the fire to enter the room. So sleep with your door closed. Have a working smoke detector in every room. All these things. That's pre-planning. That's planning. That's really all we do. And you educate that and you teach that to your kids. Okay, I can't get out into the hallway because there's smoke or fire there. Okay, how do I open my bedroom window? How do I get out of the window? Once I'm out of the window, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Where am I meeting? Kid's going to be scared, frantic. I can only imagine. It's going to probably be at night, unfortunately, because if the kid's in his room, statistics tell us that happens typically at night. So now, if nothing else, you just have this horrific thing happen to all of your personal possessions. At least you have your family. There's some comfort there. I've been on fire ground, so as chief, where there is no comfort on the fire ground. They're frantic, or they can't find their child or their pet. Their house is burning down. It's just such a horrible scene. So if you can plan and at least have family and know where everybody's at and everybody's safe. I'll tell you right now, even for us getting off the truck, when we ask, is everybody out of the house? You have your family accounted for. You're sure, 100% yes. There's a little bit of sense of relief for us. It takes this scene from like super, super intense, just one notch down. Because I'm not in there trying to find a little kid or a mom or grandma or somebody. Now we're fighting for possessions because people's possessions are important to them. We call it property conservation. And we work damn near as hard at that as we do for life safety.
Yeah, because if you don't have the proof, you can't say anything.
All that stuff. Yeah, you're right. How do we determine how a fire is started? Evidence, right? So we try to put the fire out and cause as least damage as possible. Believe it or not, there's a lot of work that we do that people don't realize, just in conserving a fire scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's people's belongings.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't have much in this world. I have a little box that I live in, and that little box is all I've got. Well, my kids have a smaller box in that box, and that's all they have. Well, if you take that away from people, you know,
Hard thing.
you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of mental health and maybe drug and alcohol abuse, you know, down here and at the ocean front sometimes. And you see homeless people. It's sad, right? But what are they pushing around? Like every piece of their belongings, you know. If you mess with their belongings, man, you can have a real problem on your hands. Well, it's no different at your house.
Do you think there's like maybe a helpline that can help you?
Well, I think there's a lot of resources that are offered. It's, do you have an advocate and do you advocate for yourself? You have to be willing to get help and have help. You know, I've talked to a woman recently who said to me, she works at one of the homeless shelters. She's like, a lot of these people you can try to help, but they just don't want the help. It's a choice, unfortunately, or a mental health issue, or a drug issue, or whatever. But anyway,
Well, thank you.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Good seeing you. Hey, it's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
as
good luck
well.
with your project.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll see you, Chief.
All right, Scott. Have a good one.
Yep.
Any word on where you might be going?